What's up, guys? Welcome back to some more Destiny 2 content. Coming in with my very first Strand build for Lightfall on the Warlock. You know it was coming. This is the absolute commander and chief over an army of Threadlings. I am Gru, they are the minions. Please watch the video all the way through. There's plenty of tips and tricks in there. You don't want to miss anything. Drop a like, hit the sub, share it with a friend, ring the bell to stay notified, and throw some comments down below if there's anything you don't understand, you need to know, or something that needs a further explanation, and I'll get back to you on that. I'll catch you in the next one. Subclass is first. Super, Needle Storm. Impact damage, explosive damage, huge range. Any needles that miss spawn Threadlings. Any guys that get killed will get a suspending burst, shoot out from around them 5 to 8 meters. Very, very good. And then any of those Threadlings that attach because of the exotic will also unravel targets. Healing Rift, Strafe Glide, the normal for me. Arcane Needle, very important. It's the only one we can run, but the way we're going to weave this into the build is going to become very important in the mod section. We're running the Threadling Grenade, and along with the aspect, we can do the 5 perched Threadlings. So let's start with that. Mind Spun Invocation. You can avoid worrying about any of the information there beyond what we're going to use, which is down the bottom. Consume your Threadling Grenade and immediately generate 5 perched Threadlings. And then we also have Weaver's Call, which is deploying your Rift will deploy 3 Threadlings, and also any perched Threadlings will also detach and chase down enemies for a lot of good fun. Fragments, only 2 that are like absolutely necessary, the other 2 are your call. So the first of the necessary are Thread of Evolution, which is Threadlings travel farther and deal more damage. This is really good because it allows you to play the build at more range, especially in harder content where you might want to play out of your Rift at a corner or something like that. It's very good. Thread of Generation is up next. That is going to be one of the best in the entire game, let alone on Strand, which is dealing damage, generates grenade energy, big damage, big grenade energy, little damage, little grenade energy. Very self-explanatory. Then as for our first of the 2 flex spots, I run Thread of Binding. It adds the suspend to the super, which is very, very nice in a tough spot if you're trying to kill anything like a champion or anything in a GM. It will suspend everything outside of a boss that I've found so far, including in like a master mission. You can suspend the Tormentor in what the master mission from the week, which is very, very cracked for the fact that it's, you know, should be quite hard. And Thread of Finality, which is just another way to create Threadlings. We create Threadlings off our Rifts, off our Tangles, off our Finishes, off our Grenades, and then of our super of the ones that miss. So lots and lots of ways to keep those Threadling army up and ready to go. From there, we're going to roll through the weapons. So it is Perpetualis. This is the only weapon I reckon you need to run. This is what I'll always run. I'm going to craft it in Envious Assassin and Demolitionist to add a little bit more so that those grenades are there a little bit longer. You can get it in the Threadling perk, but I just don't think it's necessary. I think Demolitionist for this specific build is much better. Then you have Forbearance and Two-Tailed Fox. These are flex spots again. These are just what I run. I like Forbearance to proc Envious Assassin. I like Two-Tailed Fox because it gets the suppression on Void, Incandescent on Solar, and the Jolt on Arc Rockets. So it's very nice. In hard content again, that suppression on hard enemies, very, very nice. And it can suppress almost anything except for bosses again. And possibly champions. As for mods, this is where it gets really, really important. So we're going to start with the gloves because please, please, please stop running Grenade Kickstart on this build. On a Grenade Strand Warlock build, please stop running Grenade Kickstart. I will show you in the rotations why. Run Double Impact Induction instead. Weave Needles. We'll talk about that later. As for everything else, because you're not going to be using your armor charges, so the armor charge buffs, we're going to be using a time dilation to take each charge from 10 to 15 seconds. You're going to be using stacks on stacks to be able to pick up 1 orb equals 2 armor charges, and then charged up so you can carry a 4th charge. So 2 orbs of power will get you all 4 stacks at 15 seconds apiece for 1 minute charge armor charge time. Very easy to keep reprocking. As for the rest of the mods, on our head, we have just got a way to create our Orbs of Power, along with a Bomber and a Font of Wisdom. So, unconfirmed, but I believe it's 30 per each of those mods that you put on. They give you diminishing returns, but the first stack of any of the stat mods will give you plus 30. So that takes us to 100 intellect, meaning our super is down around the 6-minute 20 mark without any help on a base cooldown. And also, our discipline gets to 90, which is very nice. Once I get better armor, we'll get that to quad 100s. On the gloves, you can see it there, we run Discipline to get that up, and then we run the Double Impact Induction. On the chest, we just run a defensive so concussive dampener, because that's a lot of different damage. On the boots, we're running innovation, which is just double, so every time we farm those orbs of power up, it just gives us grenade energy. You can run recuperation instead if you're struggling with health, and then of course the double bomber on the boots. So every time we throw our rift, just more feeding back into the grenade, and that will be that. Let's jump into some ability rotations and tips and tricks and things to go through so that we can get you all set up to be the absolute puppet master of the Threadlings and the overlord of those minions. Like Gru. First thing we want to do is consume our grenade and get back on our Sparrow Boy. So first rotation, you can just shoot to get rid of your Threadlings that you currently have on. Each piece of damage you do, so we've got 3 Threadlings, let's shoot once, only 1 Threadling will detach. So that's something to bear in mind. The more you shoot, the more they'll detach, unless you drop your rift. Now, here's where impact induction comes in over grenade kickstart. So we're going to wait, we're going to get rid of our grenade again. So let's do this, and another way to do it all is obviously you can drop your rift to get rid of all your Threadlings. So you can see it there. So impact induction gives about the same, sometimes a little bit less than the grenade kickstart, but you don't need to use any of your armor charges to do it. So let's just get rid of our grenade for the sake of it, and you want to throw that Threadling, and it's a nice little chunk there. You get the impact damage as well, everything goes off, and you get to keep all your armor charges. Now we can look at this for that big AoE damage. We've got Threadlings being spawned who will come back and latch onto us, and that's everything there. So the most ideal way to go in is if you can get your perched Threadlings up to 5, and then at the end of it, you know, in encounter, farm your grenade back up, so you're going in with 5 perched Threadlings along with all your abilities ready to go. That's the most ideal way to do it. We definitely want to keep everything suspended here. We're going to get in and out of that. So we'll consume our grenade again. We'll do a bit of damage, and then you'll see here the chunk we can get back from throwing a needle. Huge chunk back. It's very, very nice. I think it's better. It's more efficient than grenade kickstart, and that's just the way it's been working for me, which is very, very well. So as for the super, obviously the super is very good. We can throw that. You can see how much it splits up, sends out those suspending waves. You just saw all the animations. Create some Threadlings that missed, and those Threadlings then perched onto us because they didn't find any targets to destroy. Keep throwing out tangles. You want to shoot those tangles as much as possible if you can. It's better than just throwing them, because you don't get the suspend off the throw, and that's just how it works. So we want to consume again. You can see how quick our abilities come back. So much for the nerf there, Bungo. All the boys going wild. We are the absolute master of it. You can throw a needle, get them back, go again. We haven't even done anything with any of our other weapons yet. We're too busy with everything else. If you want to start and farm up Envious Assassin, just get it in there. And then you got a tangle here. This is a good one to shoot. It's in a good place. So it's going to kill a lot of ads there. Another one here. We can just keep shooting them. They do take quite a bit of damage sometimes, so just keep an eye on that. You don't want to peek out for too long. So we want to hit him with that because we're very close to a grenade again. And you can see that our needles are coming back at a rate that is acceptable for what we're using it for. So you see I swapped off target there to go for the tangle. It is a primary thing. If you've got a tangle in amongst ads, see, here we are. Pick up all these orbs. You want to go for the tangle instead. So you see we can go into this engagement with Threadlings on us. Let's drop our rift. I know we don't do it often because we don't want to waste the bomber, but let's just do it in this one. We can get a big one off there. Then we can consume our grenade again. You can do it the other way. You can do shoot first, get rid of, reconsume, drop rift again. But there's plenty going on, and obviously we're with a fire team, so it's quite good. We've almost got our grenade back again, and we've still got plenty of everything to go. We'll throw that up there. We'll destroy this guy. Look at that. That Threadling's back again, and we're just farming up. We've almost got our 3rd charge back for our melee, which again will feed into impact induction. Armor charges wise, we didn't bother picking up any orbs of power, but our grenade's full anyway, so we're getting nothing out of that, and our super's almost back as well. So in this instance, it's completely fine. Let's consume our grenade again. I should have done that before, because you just want to consume it every time you have it, unless you've got 5 perched on you. So we're going to farm up some kills here. You can see how much the fragment of dealing damage just brings your grenade back. We very much can throw a needle here and get it a lot closer. Let's pop our rift. This is a good place to fight from, first of all, because we're on a little bit of a dip here on this side of the hill. You can see this rock cover in front of us. We're going to be able to start shooting all these tangles. This will knock threadlings off, so that's just created threadlings. If they don't go over and kill everything, they'll jump onto us. Consume our grenade again because it's ready. Always on cooldown. If you don't have the threadlings on you, get them on you. Always want to be carrying those 5 around if you have the availability to. Let's get that needle over there to keep it coming back. We are going to pick this one up because it's a little bit too far away. I'm going to go from there, and as we keep going here, we need to get in here and finish this blight off. So already just to go over a few tips while we move through this next encounter here. We've got no threadlings on us, so we want to consume that straight away, always before you go in. By the time we get to the next encounter and start working on it, we're going to be able to have our grenade already on the way back. And needles have a cooldown, which is something that is very important to remember. It is written nowhere, but if you just throw 2 needles, you're not going to get 2 chunks of damage back straight away, or 2 chunks of your grenade energy back straight away. There's a 3 to 4 second cooldown. I haven't nailed down the exact time, but that seems what it feels like is in that gap there, in that 3 to 4 second gap you want between throwing needles if you're trying to farm up a full grenade using only needles. Remember, your needles, if they kill on your melee, will also spawn a tangle immediately. So if you want to get a target low in amongst a group of enemies and then just target him with your needle to spawn that tangle, and then you can use it for that. So here we are. The super is probably going to go hopefully mostly into the boss. Yeah, very nice. So you got impact damage, explosive damage, and because everything hit him, that's all we get. But should we hit anything else, that's when we'll start and do different things. So we want to destroy this tangle if he doesn't pick it up and spawn those threadlings. We can consume our grenade again. We've got all our charges back. We've got a big spawn coming in, but we also have a lot of tangles up. We want to get rid of those. Rift is very, very strong. Obviously, we're playing a little bit reckless because we're in this activity. Trying to push us over the map. But you can see the rotation. Look how often our grenades up for apparent nerf to abilities that was supposed to happen. Like, it's just endless. It's just endless abilities. You can't keep everything up. By the time you consume your grenade, throw your needle, drop your rift, shoot the few tangles that you need to shoot, everything's just back. Because this is, look at that grenade chunk that just came back. It's so easy. It's so free. And it's going to be around for a long time. I'm going to consume again. And then we're going to start working on this boss. This rocket launcher is one of my favorite in the game. It's got suppress, incandescent, jolt. Very good in hard content, especially suppressing enemies such as tormentors. For some reason, they don't really count as like bosses, so they take all of the usual suspend and... well, that's a bit rude. They take all the usual suspend damage and any other damage like that. What we're going to do is go out of the map a little bit here, just to cheeky these guys. And start using forbearance because it is one of the best ag clears in the game. So here's another thing that we can do. So we've got plenty of orbs on the ground. So let's quickly just throw a needle over here to farm it up, even though it's a bit less. We want to consume grenade and then pick up all the orbs. Because of innovation, look how much grenade energy we're going to get back there from the orbs of power. It's very, very nice. We've got a bit of a mix there. Go for tangle. So much better. Massive AoE. Very, very easy. And you've basically seen everything you need to see for the rotation there. It's very, very strong. It has a lot of crowd control. It has a lot of impact damage. It's just insanely cracked at the moment, and everyone needs to get on this as soon as you can to have some very easy runs through some very hard content. If you have any other questions, just feel free to throw them down in the comments and let me know, and I'll try and answer anything that may have been missed or anything that you are unsure about.